Eric Gomez. We're all moving forward with the intentions of making that fight. The zone obviously putting pressure on us to make that fight. It's the fight to make. It's there to be made. Hopefully,
the boxing world has just exploded with the much anticipated news. What appeared unattainable just a few days ago has now become reality in the most unexpected way possible.
And it'll be a long time coming just because of the history of everything that went on, but I'm not going to 47, so that's why I really asked him.
Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney is officially scheduled. And the way this mega fight was announced has sent shockwaves throughout the sport, with fans losing their heads on social media. Multiple sources close to both camps say that after days of rigorous discussions behind closed doors, the two undefeated champions have reached a deal that will make this the most important fight of 2026.
Now is even more juicy than it was the first time around when they were talking about it. When they were talking about it the first time around, Haney was red hot as an undisputed lightweight champion, and Shakur was the boogeyman who was very good, but was having trouble locking in those big insider. Right. I gotta be honest, man.
The declaration occurred just hours after Shakur replied to Haney's public call to action on social media, with insiders confirming that serious talks had been taking place discreetly for weeks before going public. However, the specifics of how this battle came to be, as well as the stunning compromises both boxers were forced to accept, are utterly insane and demonstrate exactly how badly both sides wanted this fight. Music. But before we get into all of the explosive details of the deal, let's go over how it all started and why everyone assumed this conflict would never happen. Devin Haney made a big remark on social media just a few days ago, utterly taking the boxing community by surprise with its timing and confidence.
Into whatever weight you're in.
All of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all getting bigger. It's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which, even though I know that they making new guys, there's guys like fucking Kermel.
Haney stated on X that I and Shakur are the next great battles in boxing. I want him and Keshin, small brother and big brother. The call-out was clear and public, putting enormous pressure on Shakur to answer and virtually compelling him to either accept the offer or appear to be fleeing from competition. Many boxing experts believe Haney's staff strategically planned this call-out to occur immediately following Shakur's overwhelming victory against Taimo Lopez, when momentum and media attention were at their pinnacle. According to those acquainted with Haney's strategy, his group believed this was the ideal time to attack because Shakur would be overconfident and unable to back down publicly. One individual familiar with the discussion stated that Haney's promotional team had been organizing this social media call-out for over 2 weeks, waiting for the perfect opportunity to launch it. The timing was ideal from a promotional aspect since it focused all attention on Haney and Shakur while other potential opponents, such as Conor Benn, were still negotiating deals.
First, Dev, is that back on the table as far as us as fans should be talking about this, or is that y'all niggas just doing some Twitter shit?
Nah, I mean, that's cool. Like I told you, I'll fight him. I'll move up to 40 and fight him. Like there's no changing what I think about that fight. I think that'll be a big fight too in the sport.
Shakur responded quickly and with a cryptic warning, leaving everyone attempting to figure out what he meant by his carefully chosen words on the platform. Shakur referenced Haney's tweet and simply stated, "Be careful what you ask for. Things may just happen." Music. That response sparked a frenzy in the boxing world, with fans and pundits arguing whether Shakur was accepting the offer or simply talking tough with no real meaning. However, sources close to Shakur's camp reportedly told trusted media that the answer was not just trash talk, but rather an indication that negotiations were already starting behind the scenes. According to one boxing insider who claimed to have direct knowledge of the matter, Shakur and Haney's teams had been secretly communicating for at least 10 days before anything was made public. The social media discussion appeared to be part of a larger, concerted attempt to generate widespread public attention and pressure. The networks and promoters provided the funds that both boxers demanded. Many believe this was a wise move since public callouts generate fan demand, forcing promoters like Eddie Hearn and networks like DAZN to take the bout seriously and open their wallets.
Still guys like Shakur, still got, Ryan Garcia. It's a huge fight. It's a lot of guys coming up. They make a new guy every day. We got Abdullah Mason, we got Kermel. It's young guys coming up, and I see them in the rear view, so I'm proud of them.
What followed next in the discussions was really intriguing, revealing just how complicated producing huge matches in modern boxing has become for everyone involved. According to those familiar with the discussions, the biggest sticking point initially was the weight class in which the fight would take place and the limits that would be imposed. Shakur currently owns the WBO super lightweight title at 140 pounds, while Devin Haney is the WBO welterweight champion at 147 pounds, leaving a natural 7-pound gap between them. According to sources involved with the early negotiations, Shakur's team first insisted on a stringent 10 pounds rehydration provision, which he also wanted from Conor Benn before the talks collapsed.
How does that fight get made then?
If he's not going to agree, then we probably don't fight. So he's just wasting time. We'll see, but I'm a businessman at the end of the day, and like I said, he did a rehydration clause with Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank was in the ring half dead. Why can't he do the same thing?
The rehydration provision would limit the amount of weight Haney might regain after the official weigh-in, preventing him from having a significant size advantage on fight night. However, insiders said that Haney's camp strongly opposed this demand, with his father, Bill Haney, reportedly insisting in private meetings that his son would not accept any artificial constraints. One person who claimed to have been there during virtual negotiations stated that tensions rose dramatically during one video chat in which both sides refused to move from their stances. The breakthrough moment, according to reports, occurred when promoters presented a compromise approach in order to make this fight happen for the big paycheck it symbolizes for everyone. According to sources, the final agreement includes Shakur moving up to a catch weight of 144 pounds, which will split the gap between super lightweight and welterweight to make it fair for both. Furthermore, there will allegedly be a reduced rehydration clause that limits Haney to regaining only 12 pounds rather than the limitless weight he desired, providing Shakur with some protection. This agreement appears to have satisfied both camps because Shakur receives size protection while Haney is not required to cut down to 140 music or accept the severe 10-pound limit that ended the Benn fight. According to sources acquainted with the financial conditions, both combatants will receive career-high payouts, and the bout is expected to generate at least $50 million in total revenue from pay-per-view and sponsorships. The exact purse split is being kept under wraps, but insiders believe it's close to a 60-40 split in Shakur's advantage because he's the defending champion and coming off a Lopez victory. Interview 11. According to various sources, what truly cemented the deal was the involvement of a large Middle Eastern investor who saw enormous potential in this contest for the worldwide market. According to reports, Turki Al-Sheikh, who has revolutionized boxing with his large investments, directly participated in negotiations and helped bridge the financial gap between what both parties desired. One boxing promoter, who requested anonymity, told colleagues that without Turki's involvement and willingness to guarantee both boxers' asking rates, this bout would most likely never have happened. According to those familiar with the plans, the tentative date for the battle is late May or early June 2026, providing both boxers plenty of time to prepare. Madison Square Garden is allegedly the frontrunner to host the event. However, there is substantial interest from venues in Las Vegas and possibly even Saudi Arabia if Turkey wants it there. According to sources familiar with the venue negotiations, MSG is willing to guarantee a sold-out audience and has even began preliminary marketing discussions with both sides over the promotion. The announcement is likely to be made official within the next 7 to 10 days, provided all final paperwork is signed and both promotional teams have coordinated the press conference time. Let us now discuss what this battle means for both fighters and why the stakes could not be higher for their legacies and careers in the sport. For Shakur Stevenson, this is an opportunity to silence detractors who say he's dull and show that he can defeat another excellent defensive fighter in a high-stakes showdown that casual fans will watch. Many boxing experts believe that a victory over Haney would quickly propel Shakur into the top 3 pound-for-pound rankings, perhaps setting up even bigger matches at welterweight. According to sources close to Shakur's squad, his long-term goal is to someday compete for titles at 147 and possibly 154 pounds if his body continues to develop. Music, according to a source acquainted with Shakur's thinking, the Haney fight is the ideal test to see if his defensive abilities can defeat a naturally larger opponent. Devin Haney sees this bout as an opportunity to demonstrate that he is more than simply a decision fighter who can only win tedious technical battles that bore casual fans. Haney has been chastised throughout his career for prioritizing safety and failing to take enough risks to create the explosive moments that propel superfight status and high pay-per-view numbers. According to sources close to Haney's camp, he believes that a dominant win against Shakur will finally earn him the credit he deserves as one of boxing's absolute elite talents. According to one trainer who works with boxers at Haney's gym, Devin has been obsessed with this clash for over a year and believes his size will be too much. However, the stylistic battle has boxing purists salivating since both boxers are defensive masters who win fights at the highest level through knowledge rather than power. Many analysts believe this will be a chess match comparable to Floyd Mayweather versus Aries Landila, in which two defensive gurus make each other look ordinary by neutralizing everything the other attempts. Tim Bradley has stated that Shakur's footwork and IQ give him an advantage, while Andre Ward believes Haney's stature and reach will be too much to overcome.
He is a good fighter, but I just don't think he's exciting to watch. I don't think he's going to be a draw outside of getting paid for those Saudi events. And I think if that stopped, you'd see that quite quickly. But he's a very good fighter. He's tough to beat. But if you think that was exciting to watch, you're...
The fan reaction to this fight announcement has been polarizing, with strong debates on both sides over who will win and whether the match would be thrilling or dull. One viral tweet with over 50,000 likes said, "Shakur versus Haney is either going to be a masterclass or a snooze fest. No in between, and I actually can't tell which." Another popular article stated, "This is the fight that separates true boxing fans from casuals. If you can't appreciate this matchup, you don't really understand the sport." The gap in fan reactions nicely highlights the divide between hardcore boxing fans who value technical brilliance and casual viewers who prioritize knockouts and drama over all else. Promoters appear to be betting on the fact that both boxers have enormous social media followings, and that the rivalry narrative will generate enough attention to drive significant pay-per-view sales.
More about not yourself, more of who I really am. In past fights, you guys see me, as a more of a shell of myself, because
According to sources familiar with the promotional campaign, both camps want to participate in orchestrated trash talk and face-offs aimed to generate viral moments while avoiding true contempt. According to one marketing expert, the promotion would aggressively emphasize on the undefeated against undefeated element, as well as the reality that someone's zero must be removed. The training camps for both fighters will be critical since this is the type of bout where minor technical tweaks could be the difference between winning and losing every round. According to sources familiar with Shakur's training, he intends to bring in a number of southpaw sparring partners who can nearly mimic Haney's height, reach, and patient fighting style. Meanwhile, insiders close to Haney's camp said that his crew is already reviewing tape of Shakur's fights to search for patterns and trends that can be exploited during the actual encounter. One strength and conditioning coach who works with elite boxers anticipated that both camps will prioritize stamina because the fight will most likely last 12 rounds.
Ryan Garcia, you good for nothing in the sport of boxing. You come out with 4 or 5 days left to your 4th positive PED test, and you say now you want to start your own league, that you don't care if you're banned from the sport of boxing. Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan.
The selection of judges and referees will also be essential, because in a close technical bout, having the correct officials can practically decide who wins. Boxing experts expect both sides to carefully discuss which athletic commission would oversee the fight and whose judges will score it in order to minimize potential prejudice. The potential significance of this battle on the welterweight and super lightweight divisions cannot be emphasized, as the winner will instantly become the #1 target for every other champion. If Shakur wins, insiders say he will likely fight full-time at 147 pounds, challenging champions like Mario Barrios or possibly pursuing a huge meeting with Terence Crawford if available. However, if Haney wins decisively, those familiar with his thoughts believe he would seek a rematch with Ryan Garcia to finally resolve their contentious first fight.
And Haney still being undefeated and having righted the ship, winning as an underdog against Brian Norman. I rate that. I rate when you take on a fight as an underdog and you win it. I rate that. You know, that's why Haney, for me, got into the circle of trust.
The loser of Shakur versus Haney is far from over, but they will undoubtedly take a step back in terms of negotiating leverage and the size of potential opportunities. One promoter, who asked to remain anonymous, told boxing journalists that in today's market, one loss to another elite fighter does not end careers, but it does make planning the next super fight more difficult. As the formal announcement date approaches, both fighters should increase their social media activity and public statements to generate as much buzz and anticipation as possible for this bout. The press conference announcing this bout is sure to be one of the most viewed boxing events of the year, with fans eager to hear both competitors describe their game plans. According to sources close to the planning, promoters are exploring a multi-city press tour that would include stops in New York, Los Angeles, and potentially London to increase global interest in the game.
Ryan Garcia, you good for nothing in the sport of boxing. You come out with 4 or 5 days left to your 4th positive PED test, and you say now you want to start your own league, that you don't care if you're banned from the sport of boxing. Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan.
The boxing world hasn't been this hyped about a boxer versus boxer showdown since Floyd Mayweather's peak years, when technical prowess still drew large crowds. And that's all for now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the most up-to-date information about boxing news, moments, events, and actions. Don't forget to enable alerts so you can be notified when we publish high-quality stuff like this. Until next time, peace.